Shalom. Allah start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Falet, just pushing his truth across the four corners of the earth and all faith, truth, and sincerity. It's Alma Wanna back again to sin. Just want to go into this article that was like, a few days back, or I'll say, a few days back, going to like last week. But let's go into about this situation with JD Vance and saying, going door to door, we know ICE agents and seeing who's a illegal immigrant, and it's kind of crazy, cause like, why you gotta go door to door? If you know who, you would have the already intel or, within the system to know who is illegal and who ain't. And it's kind of crazy that this man said they gotta go door to door, and see if you are illegal or see if you are legally to be in America or you're or an illegal immigrant. It's wild to me, man. But it's crazy, right? But this is the times that we're in, man. Like I said, the so-called white man, Esau, Edomite devils in power. They time of rulership is coming to the end, running out. So they finna come down hard, with these unrighteous decrees, which I don't get that scripture, these unrighteous decrees they put out, man, and there's gonna be more of it, and people gonna, people in America about the great gonna be rebellion against the gonna rebel against these unrighteous decrees. More of the unrighteous decrees are gonna be that's gonna come about Trump or JD Vance or whatever. It's gonna get crazy out here, man. All hell gonna break loose out here in the streets, in the cities of America, Babylon the Great. It's gonna get more wild and crazy out here, man. It ain't gonna slow down, man. It's 2026 could be, a year of just a lot of surprises. I'm saying a lot of surprises, shocking, a lot of shocking events, disasters, death, a whole bunch of death, people dying left and right. People just losing their minds, and a lot of backstabbing, a lot of gonna have people selling out. That's what this year it seems like it's gonna be, telling. It's heading into. It's not gonna be good. But hey, this place America Babylon Great gotta fall. It's falling down good. We're at the end of this, wicked rulership of the so-called white man, Esau, Edomite devil. So, hey, it's got to happen, man. The prophecy's got to come to pass, man. But let's start off. Let me read this article first. USA Today. Immigration enforcement ramp up has only just begun. Vice President Vance promises. It's federal officials say Americans can expect to see even more muscular immigration enforcement in the coming months, with over 10,000 new ICE agents hit the streets, armed it with personnel data harvested by private contractors. Speaking on a January 7 Fox News broadcast, Vance, President J.D. Vance said ICE will be going door to door in the coming months as agents carry out President Donald Trump's plans for a large mass deportation in history. Federal officials said they've now got about 22,000 agents and investigators, up from 10,000 a year ago. So they're gonna be going door to door, like I said, in the beginning. And there was a point sometime, was it last year? I forgot what it was. It was sometime last in 2025. I forgot what month and time it was, but Trump made a statement saying about about the deportation ICE agents. He wasn't just saying illegal immigrants. He was saying, well, those that are Americans as well. He said, if you see, they said that, they'll get rid of those that, it seem to be, a danger to America's society, a danger to society in America, they'll take you away too. So that tells you like, hey, it ain't just about illegal immigrants now. So hey man, we in those times, man. Hey man, the so-called white man, Esau Mandels, man, they desperate. They like I said, but mainly like I said, they're coming down. They're coming down on you, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, which are the Israelites. And it's gonna get more. It's gonna get more chaotic out here, man. It's finna be a lot of people are gonna be, fighting back and resisting the these ICE agents and military. Had these troops coming through, and it just man. Like scripture say, a time of Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be a time not since the world began, or the time of tribulation. We in those times over now, man, going forward, man. So, but as I say, it just gotta happen, man. Like I say, but you got the 2/3 Israelites that's not that the Lord Yahushua is not gonna have mercy on in these times and going forward, and and only the elect of the so-called Negro Latino is gonna have the mercy of the Lord Yahushua, but. Just hey man, it's all about keeping the faith, man. Cause keep the faith with Lord Yahushua, cause you just don't know what can happen. You don't know how really real gonna get. Once like I said, once the situation is happening real time in your face, in front of you, man, you just like. That, hey, man, this is prophecy happening right now. And like I say, the Lord Yahushua is with you, and hopefully I'll be a part of righteous number of the elect to have the mercies and the deliverance of the Lord Yahushua, because man, it's gonna get real, man. Things gonna get real up close and personal, man, and it's not gonna be a pretty, it's not gonna be a pretty sight. It's gonna get real ugly out here, man. But let me see, go from there. I ain't gonna make this too long. I'm just gonna kind of get to the point. It says, in November, federal officials announced that they were planning to hire thousands of private skip tracers to conduct both online and in-person verification of home and work addresses up to 1.5 million people living in the United States. The contractors will be given batches of 50,000 names at a time and are expected to provide photos of homes and workplaces according to federal contracting data. They will also be required to gather utility bills, court records, and employment verification information without telling anyone why they're collecting it. It's an immigration official exploring whether they can buy and convert large warehouses into detention and processing mega centers. Buying the warehouses of the type often used by Amazon and other online retailers could allow federal officials to exempt themselves from many local zoning restrictions, oversighting rules governing private or state-run prisons and jails. So I'm read the rest of this. ICE detention teams have been hampered in Democrat-run cities, states where local jails don't assist with immigration detentions. And adding the new capacity could allow much larger operations in those communities. So, see, oh boy. So, that right there I just read, right? So the detention centers. Now, like I was saying, Trump said it don't matter. It don't matter if you're illegal or if you is American citizen and they see you, they see you as a, as a threat to the society. They will take you away. And I said those detention centers, concentration camps. They will haul you away to those detention centers. Trying to set it up. They're trying to get Amazon warehouses where it may be. And a lot of these like Walmart places or Walmarts. A lot of Walmarts. Excuse me. A lot of Walmarts have been shut down, and they can turn those into detention centers, man. Where they take you in there and they and I said they do whatever they want to do with you, chop your head off, guillotine, whatever it may be, That's gonna happen. That's what they doing, man. That's what they setting up. That's the times that we in, man. Like, man, things can really escalate, being real serious, man. Some real serious times ahead, man. I say these double Edomites, they only got a short time. These rap for these doubles, man. These Edomite doubles, it come down hard, man. But again, like I said, Lord Yahweh Bashing y'all shots in full control. The Edomite doubles, they don't have control like they think they do. It's really the Most High. He's in full control. He's the one that is pulling the strings. And like I say, these double Edomites think they playing wicked plan agenda they have in mind, whatever they trying to do, trying to execute, they're not going to fully execute it like they want to. Because like I said, Lord Yahweh will intervene, especially for his elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Israelites, he will, deliver his elect out of these, times of, these bad, wicked, bad, evil days that we in and going forward, But let's see. But that's it though. So I'm gonna get some scriptures to back this up. It's Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So woe means destruction. So destruction to these so-called white Edomite devils that's in power that decree on these unrighteous decrees, man. They they put out these unrighteous decrees or laws, whatever it may be, they pass, and it could be a burden, or let's say an unrighteous decree or law where people, it's against it, man, and it becomes a burden or a thing where people's like, wait a minute, this ain't right. This is a not a righteous decree or law. This is wicked. And that's the times that we're in. And especially so-called Negro Latino natives, and most of those unrighteous decrees and laws, it come down, in its for to keep you Negro Latino natives, Israelites, down, keep y'all down and keep y'all from uh, rising up or whatever it may be, you know. And that's what most of the unrighteous decrees go about, you know, to keep you so-called Negro Latino natives, which are Israelites, you know, in a bad situation, you know, keep you down and oppressed, and that, you know, that's what it is. But go to next chapter, Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So woe means destruction. Again, you know, destruction to these elites, you know, that's in power. You know, these Khazars, those small hats, these Edomites, man, that, you know, they come up with these wicked, all right, like I say, these wicked laws or plans they have, especially for these so-called Negro Latino Native Israelites, you know, to have, they plan this out, you know, amongst they, in the meetings and in whatever it may be, in their secret rooms, whatever it may be, and then they execute it, you know, right? They put it into motion. Because, like I said, it's in the power of their hand, because they in the power. They in the power seat. You know, they write up these unrighteous decrees, laws, and or plans, whatever it may be, and then they make it they make it go about, amongst the people amongst the people to follow. If they don't, or to abide by it. If they don't, then they're gonna face the consequences of it. And that's what it is, man. But they unrighteous decrees, these wicked plans that the Edomites, so-called white people push. It definitely is for the so-called Negro Latino natives, to keep you down. Like I say, to keep you oppressed, But next verse, I ain't gonna make this too long. Micah 2:2, and they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppressive a man and his house, even a man in his heritage. So, like I said, the Edomite devils, they'll find a way to try to come into your land or area, saying we got permission or we got permission from the president, whoever it may be, to come to your land and area to take it from you. Fuck out of here. Like I say, these so-called white people, Edomite devils, y'all, this is not even your land, and y'all really don't have the right to tell somebody to get out of a land that's not even yours. You Edomite stole this land. Y'all are the real illegal immigrants. Y'all the real illegals. Y'all came over here and stole the land from the natives. The natives, which was already here. The tribes that was already here in this land. The tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Issachar. Y'all came on here and stole the land from the tribes that was already in this land. And I said, y'all want to put out these unrighteous decrees, and come into, want to come door to door and pull people out their houses, and and like I say, and those that do have their paperwork, and you still gonna take them just cause of what? What's the reason behind it? Like, this is, like I said, man, these Edomite devils, man, they got a lot to pay for, man. Like I said, they ain't doing nothing but oppressing the so-called Negro Latino natives, man, the Israelites, man. In these times, man, it's gonna get worse, man. And you so-called Negro Latino native Israelites, you better know that the so-called white man, red man devil is your enemy, man. You better wake up, man. These devils don't, is not your friend. Stop being buddy with you goddamn Edomites, man. Get away from these fucking devils, man. Know that you have an enemy, man, and you gotta wake up and stop, being friendly with these devils, because they will backstab you. And those that do sell out to the Edomite devils, you are gonna get backstabbed. Edomite devils don't give a damn about you. They want to see you. They want to see you so-called Negro, Latino natives, Israelites completely wiped out, man. But they ain't gonna. But they can't do it. They're not gonna fully. They're not gonna fully. It's not gonna happen for them. Because Lord Yahushua is gonna intervene. Stop these devils from executing their plan all the way. So. I ain't want to make this too long. So again, I like about present glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash, to the apostle elders, to the sis Akim brothers, to the few Akwaf sisters that do listen, keep the faith in Yahushua, keep fighting with that. I say shalom.